Okay, so let's get into my reading vlog for this week and what I've been reading. And you can see some books on the side there. We're just going to move them out of the frame. Okay, excuse me. I have a lot to talk to you guys about, and originally I actually planned on doing this video a lot later, but I have an incredibly busy day today, including we'll see, hoping to read 100 pages of a certain book. So, and with a lot of other things going on, now's the time when apparently I'm going to be doing my reading vlog. So let's get right into this because I have a lot to discuss with you guys. So, I'm going to start with my library. As you guys know, I'm so very excited to be a part of a public library for the first time in 2 years, and I have been reserving books like crazy. 2 of them came in this week, and I'm going to show them to you. But before I do, I just want to say I finally worked out how to show you books the right way around. It took a ton of research. Oh my goodness. But I was getting sick of showing you guys books that were reversed, but they're not anymore. So here's the first book you're going to see that is the right way round. Yay! So the books that came in that I reserved to my library this week were The Magician's Guild. Okay, so I'm excited to get into this book. I did a bit of research because, well, after the month that I had in January, I wanted to make sure that in February I read books that I actually loved and that I had more than enough books so I could DNF books that I really just don't enjoy. The Magician's Guild seems like a book that I would absolutely love, and I'll talk more about that when I do get into reading it, but that one came in. The second one is the book The Magicians. Okay, so, Magician's Guild is by Trudy Canavan, and The Magicians book is by Lev Grossman. Okay, so a little bit of history on this one. I started watching the series The Magicians on TV when it first came out, and I fell in love with the series from day one. I'm still watching it to this day. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. This is an adult fantasy novel, and this is where it all began. I guess you could say that the inspiration for the show came from this book, so I'm really, really excited to be getting into this one. We'll see how we go. Hopefully I have time to get into it this month. Okay, I also picked up 6 books from my store this week. Yay, very excited about that. They still have the price tags on them, so I'm going to try and cover them up a little bit. But anyway, the first one is called Lost. The cover absolutely intrigued me. The author is Caridad Pinheiro. So there we go, New York Times best-selling author. And yeah, so I read the blurb on the back. It does sound incredibly intriguing, and I'm looking forward to getting into this one. There is I'll quickly read it to you. Adam Bruno is no ordinary millionaire, the heir to an ancient race possessing a dark, powerful magic. He can shapeshift, yay, and create energy, yay. His gifts make him a living weapon and have forced him to live in seclusion. But now, an inhuman force hunts down Adam just when he finds someone who makes him feel more human than he ever imagined possible. Home from combat in Iraq, Bobby Carrera wants only peace, yet soon joins Adam in a terrifying battle against paranormal enemies who hide in plain sight. She's drawn to his strength of mind and body, and he's attracted to her courage and intoxicating energy. Their scorching passion can either transport them to the heights of ecstasy, or, if Adam's powers rage out of control, destroy them. But when an invisible brotherhood tightens its nets and someone Adam trusts betrays him, only a heart-trending decision can save them. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. It sounds really good. We also have the start of the Zodiac series by Vicky Peterson. So that's that one. Yep, so it's called The Scent of Shadows. That's the first book. So it sounds pretty good. It sounds like it's I don't really know. honestly. It talks about two different forces, light and shadow. So this is a fantasy book. A lot of my books are fantasy books. You guys know this. And yeah, I felt really intrigued by it. This is the first book, The Scent of Shadows. And this one, The Touch of Twilight, is the second book. So looking forward to getting into those ones. These books also looked intriguing. They are called the House of Night series. There we go. That's the first one. It's called Marked. It's by PC and Kristen Cast. So that's the first book in the series. Now, I believe this is the second book. Just having a quick look. Oh no, they are in order. I think one of these is meant to be out of order, but anyway, that's fine. I think this is the second book in the series anyway. It's Marked, okay? And the third book in the series is called Chosen. So that is my wrap-up of, for this week, of books that I have bought from my library that I haven't shown you guys yet. And the other two, these two, the ones I got from my library, I'm really intrigued to get into. Look, I have to be honest, I have about a month to get through. Well, if I can't re-borrow, I have about a month to get through my library books, so these ones will probably come before these ones do. But I'm still very intrigued to get into these ones. Alright, so now to a very special shout out to a friend of mine. So, one of my very best friends, who I just want to give a quick shout out to, hi, she loves to read, and I didn't really know this about her, but when she found out that I was really heavily getting back into reading, she was really excited. So much so that she started getting back into reading too, which made me so happy. In fact, I called her a couple of nights ago, only to find out I'd interrupted her reading time, which I felt so guilty about, but anyway. But it's great. If I can inspire people to get back into reading, even if it's just one person, oh my gosh, that's an amazing thing. I didn't come into this thinking I could inspire to get anyone either into reading or back into reading, but there are just so many positives about reading. It's just so beneficial for so many different reasons. So a big shout out to her, and hi once again. Hi. Anyway, so my friend and I were talking last night because we work together on Saturdays, and, well, she talked to me about how, since I was reading, she was getting back into reading, that she wanted to loan me a book that was very special to her. This was a very beautiful moment for me because I don't have any friends that, want to loan me a book. I loan people books, but I don't really have it that they loan me books. This book is incredibly special to her, and I am going to treat this with the utmost care. I believe it's the first book that she read, or at least the first novel that she read anyway, and it has a lot of special memories to her, and it does mean quite a bit to her. So I'm really excited to read it myself, and it is called Helen Keller's Teacher. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit rough on the edges, but that is only because of how much she loves this book. But considering how old this book is, it could be in so much worse condition. She's actually taken really good care of it. But anyway, it's not a long read. Apparently, it's either based on the autobiography of Helen Keller, or it's based on the lady that teaches, that assists Helen Keller, which I do find really intriguing. Now, it's not a long read, not at all. It goes for, I'm just going to have a look, 153 pages. Yep. So it should be a pretty fast read for me, but I just want to say thank you to my friend. Thank you so much for lending me a book that you love and cherish so much, and that you trust me to read and discuss with you, and we're going to talk about it once I finish this. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it. There you go. So it is Helen Keller's Teacher, and it is written by Margaret Davidson. So thank you to my friend. I appreciate it. Okay, so from a midweek TBR to be read, TBR at some point in the future, although Helen Keller's Teacher will be a book that I'll be reading very, very, very soon, because I can't wait to read this and then discuss it with my friends, so there you go. I'm going to discuss with you what I actually have been reading this week. So let's start off with the book Once by Morris Gleitzman. Okay, so I told you guys this already, but I was talking to my friend, in fact, the same friend that gave me this wonderful book, and her eldest child is going to high school for the first time this year, and this is one of the books that he needs to read for high school. In fact, I have the other one as well. This is the other book he needs to read this year. It's called Runner. I'll get to that one at some point. But anyway, so I have not only started reading Once, but for some reason, which I'm starting to question at the moment, but anyway, I decided I was going to narrate this book. So I have been reading it out loud and recording it, and I am creating a playlist with it, which at the moment that playlist is unlisted, so it's not appearing here on my channel. It's only available for myself and anyone who has the link. But if you wanted the link to my narrated version of Once, then definitely let me know and I'll send you the link and you can tell me what you think. It's not a professional job, but you can hear me very clearly, so yeah, if you want to try it, let me know. Anyway, so I'm reading this I'm reading this in order to be able to assist my friend's child, because he has to read this, and I have to say, for a middle grade / YA, it's not really a YA, it's not a young adult book, it's a middle grade. I'm sorry, I've got doors banging in the background because it's so windy outside. Oh my gosh, you guys. It is so windy outside right now. I actually wanted to film outside. So I wanted to take you guys outside and discuss my reading outdoors with you guys among nature. But oh my gosh, I'm being reminded of that song from Frozen, Let It Go. The wind is howling like the swirling storm inside. I mean, seriously, it is ferocious out there. So it's just not going to happen. But I'm just going to pause very quickly and shut that door so we don't continue to hear banging in the background while I'm trying to discuss this with you. I'll be right back. Okay, so doors have been closed. We will not hear banging anymore, hopefully. We'll see how we go. Anyway, as for Once, I am 116 pages in, and there are 150 pages in this book. So I'm getting there. One of my goals for today, as I said, I have a very busy day, is to finish narrating this book because I kind of want to have it done. I wanted to have this done before I actually did this this vlog for you guys. It's just, I don't think I'm going to have enough time to get the vlog done as well as this, as well as everything else, if I keep putting the vlog off. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish this one by tonight, and I should have this book completed by next week, so I'll have my third book that I have read. Now, my friends, let's talk about this final book that I want to discuss with you guys in this week's vlog, because 3 letters or 3 words, depending on how you want to phrase it, either OMG or Oh My God. It's Mistborn! Oh, you guys, I knew I was going to gush when I got to this book, because this book, for me and for what I have read, this book has transcended reading for me. I love this book. I cannot give this book enough props, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the review comes out for this book, because there's just so much to discuss in the review that I don't know if one part is going to be enough, which means I might have like a full-on 1-hour review for you guys, split into 2 parts. But anyway, we'll see how we go. But this book is an amazing read. I get why there is hype around this book. It is, not only is it a fantasy book, it is epic fantasy. The magic systems are incredible. I, for a long time, thought there was one magic system, but there are actually multiple magic systems in this book. And, excuse me, the world building, as well as the magic systems world building in this book, they are phenomenal. yes, there is a plot to this story, and the plot intrigues me so much. It's an amazing plot. Absolutely it is. But there are many moments throughout the plot where the world building, where the plot's kind of put aside to go through the world building and to discuss the magic systems. Now, when I say this, because if I was listening to someone say this and I was watching this, I'd be like, oh, okay, that sounds a bit weird. Let me explain what I mean by this. The magic systems are explained in the book, but they're explained in the book through the plot. It's not like the magic systems are written into a footnote or something like that. No. So all of the characters, well, not all of them, but most of the characters we're working with have one magical ability or another. And our protagonist spends time with all the different characters that she's with. She's new to this crew that she's working with, and she spends one-on-one time with all the different characters, and they either teach her or discuss with her their magical abilities, how they work, their limitations, what you need to do in order for them to work. And so it's Brandon Sanderson's writing is, look, I've said this before, it's overwhelming, but I say it's overwhelming in a really good way. It's not like it's overwhelming and it's a headache. It's overwhelming in an amazing way. As I said, this book has transcended the reading experience for me. I cannot praise this book enough. And so, yeah, and listening to the magic systems of this book is really amazing, and I don't have Harry Potter on me in this office. When I record, I usually record in Office 1, and I have Harry Potter in Office 1. But anyway, I understand now why Harry Potter is referred to as a soft magic system compared to Mistborn, which is a hard magic system. With Harry Potter, provided you have a wand and you say an incantation and you know, and you're making the right wand motion. I love Harry Potter, so I'm not criticizing Harry Potter, I'm just giving you the differences here. And you have the right motion, then the spell is cast and that works and that's fine. Yes, there are limitations legally, but as far as what you can and cannot physically actually do, there are no limitations. So what I mean by this is, yes, it is illegal in Harry Potter to perform I don't want to give away any spoilers, an unforgivable curse. So if you perform that unforgivable curse and you are caught having performed that unforgivable curse, then you go through massive punishments. Yes, absolutely you do. But you're not physically stopped from doing it. You get to decide if you actually want to use this spell or not. In the world of Mistborn, and Brandon Sanderson does this really well, there are limitations as to what you physically can and cannot do, and what you need to do in order to be able to perform magic. For a lot of magic books or shows or films, or, you know, a lot of, I'll use the word trope, a lot of magic tropes that I have witnessed show magic from the perspective that magic is innately inside of you and you have unlimited, untapped reserves that you can call upon at any time. Not so in Mistborn. Things are a bit noisy outside because of the wind, and I apologize. Not so with Mistborn. You actually need to do a number of different things before you can actually access the magic each time you want to use it. So there are absolute limitations. And if you don't have the, shall we say, required ingredients before you can, the required ingredients that you need in order to be able to access that magical part of you that you want to use, then you won't be able to use that magical part of you because you don't have what you need in the first place. So there are absolute limitations in this book, but it makes it even more exciting and enticing. As I said, there's not just one type of magic either. There are so many. I learnt about mistings and mistborns really early on in the book, and that was really fascinating. But recently I've also learnt about ferrochemy, and ferrochemy is really interesting as well. But I'm not going to give away any spoilers here in this video. I will go through all of this when I get to the review. I might have to, I don't know, research a glossary of terms that are used in this book and then print it out and then discuss it with you guys that way, because there's so much that I may not remember everything exactly how it is, but this book is absolutely amazing. Now, the reason why I'm spending a lot of time on this book in this weekly wrap-up is because aside from narrating Morris Gleitzman's once, this is the only book that I've been reading this week. Well, actually, technically, that's not true because last night I restarted The Kiss of Deception, which I'll talk to you about in just a moment. But aside from last night, this was the only book that I was reading and not narrating. And the reason for that is because I know that I want to read book 2, The Well of Ascension, in March, but I do want to have a couple of weeks, like let's say 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, whatever it is, off from Mistborn to read something else before jumping right back into this series. So I actually have a goal to be done with this book at the latest by the end of Wednesday night. So I'm very close to that point. I'm very excited about that too. So I'm up to page 450. I'm literally trying to read 50 pages a day. I'm up to page 450, and in my version, there are 643 pages, so if I round it up, let's say 650. On Goodreads, and I only just realised this last night, on Goodreads it says that Mistborn has 500 and something pages, but not my book. My book has 643. So I've still got 200 pages to go, trying to read 50 pages a day so that I can meet that deadline, and then I can move on to the next thing that I am going to read. But the thing about Mistborn that I love when I step back and look at my experience with this book is that unlike the first 2 books that I completed this year, Personal Demons and what was it called? The Replacement by Brenna Yovanov and Personal Demons by Lisa DeRoches. Those books, I didn't say it at the time, but I'm going to admit it now after reading Mistborn, because I feel like I can't let that go now that I'm reading this book. So thank you, Brandon Sanderson. The truth comes out. Those books were incredibly hard for me to pick up and continue reading. But I kept going because I wanted to get through some books and really start heading towards my 2020 goal of reading. Well, I have a minimum of 12 books that are my goal for this year, but I'm sure that's going to go up either in June or once I've read 12 books. But anyway, this book has the opposite effect. You can directly quote me on this. The problem is not picking up the book. The problem is putting this book down. This book is so amazing, and I'm not overselling it. It really is. If you love epic fantasy, magic systems books, you are going to love this book. You absolutely will. The problem is, once I start reading and get a certain part of the way through the book, whenever it is that I'm reading this, and I have to put it down because I have something I need to do, whether it's to go off and eat, or I have some errands to run, or I need to go to bed because I've got work the next day, it is so incredibly hard to pry myself away from this book. I physically have to move this book out of my sight to put it down somewhere until I'm ready to come back to it the next day, because this book is so good. I have not had that since I read Harry Potter. Okay, so Brandon Sanderson, as I've said multiple times now with my Goodreads updates, Brandon Sanderson, I have 2 words for you. Thank you. Simply put, thank you. This book, best book that I have read so far. It rivals Harry Potter. I don't know if this book's better or Harry Potter's better, but it definitely rivals Harry Potter, and I never thought I would say that. So thank you, Brandon Sanderson. What an absolute pleasure this has been to read so far, and I can't wait to do the review for this book. So once I finish Mistborn, which as I said should be Wednesday night the latest, we'll see how we go, I have 2 other books that I'm looking to jump right back into. I have 3 Dark Crowns, which I have started It's okay. I'm not that far into it though, so I don't feel like I can judge it that much at the moment, but I'm up to page 14 and there are... It's not a tome, but there are 407 books in... pages in this book. It's been a long video. Pages in this book. And I don't feel that I have the right to judge it considering I'm only 4 pages in, but at the moment I don't like Kendra Blake's writing style. We'll see how we go, and I will definitely be discussing this more in my next vlog because I would have finished Mistborn and be, well, focusing on this or DNFing it. We'll see how we go, honestly. Yeah. The other book I'm kind of rereading is after I finish Mistborn, is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. It's the first book in the Remnant Chronicles. Now, for those of you who have been following my videos, I started off by listening to the audio version of this book on a particularly very hot summer's night when I couldn't sleep, and the audiobook was incredibly enticing for me, and I just could not get away from it. It was that good. But then it got to a point where there was a bit of a lull, and the lull kind of lasted for a little while, and I kind of got over it a little bit. But anyway, just as I was saying, if I don't go back to it this week, I'm going to DNF this book, I totally forgot that I had reserved this book at my library, and then it came in. So I've decided, fine, I'm going to start again from chapter 1 and see how I go. You guys, I started chapter 1 last night because I thought, I'll just give it a go, see how we go. And I don't have high hopes for this book. I've got to keep it real. I do think I am going to end up DNFing this book, but I think I really should give myself a certain number of pages. Apparently, magic does appear in this book, but from what I had heard, anyway, with the audiobook, which was a good 3.5 hours worth of audiobook, by the way, if not more, maybe around the 4-hour mark, there was no magic at all. So I don't know how long I'm gonna give this book to show me some kind of magic. But if it doesn't, then I will end up DNFing this book. If I DNF 3 Dark Crowns or The Kiss of Deception, then in its place I will pick up my final TBR that I had for this month, which is Vampire Academy Volume 1. I am very excited to reread this, and the only reason I haven't started is because I feel like I need to reread read my library books first because there's a limitation of how long I can have them for, but I'm incredibly excited to do the reread of Vampire Academy Volume 1 because when I last read it, I absolutely loved this book. I realize that I'm older now and I'm reading this from the perspective of an adult who has just come off reading Mistborn, but anyway, like by the time I start this, and so maybe I will judge it a little bit more differently, I don't know. I want to be perfectly clear, if you have seen the Vampire Academy film, but you have not read the books, please do yourself the favor of getting the film out of your mind and read the book. The book is amazing. The film made some poor decisions in my opinion, I have to be honest about this, especially when they decided to hire the director of Mean Girls to film Vampire Academy. Vampire Academy is a dark series, and so to have the director of Mean Girls doing this film, it just doesn't make any sense at all. But anyway, the book on its own is an amazing book. Rochelle Mead, I don't even need to look at the author, I know her name off by heart. Rochelle Mead, to me, is an amazing writer. I loved this book. I fell in love with it when I was reading it as a child, so I can't wait to reread it. Anyway, that is it for my wrap-up for this week. Oh my gosh, I have spoken about so many books, let's quickly count them. Including the quick glimpse of Runner, I've discussed 15 books in this vlog, and I've never done that before, so that's pretty cool. I'm really happy about that. Okay, I hope you guys had enjoyed watching this, and I hope that you're enjoying that you can actually see the books the right way around. Especially, you can see Mistborn the right way. Yay! So much love for you, Brandon Sanderson. Thank you. There's so much. If I could have 5 minutes with the guy, I would just... Oh my god, thank him so much for writing this because I can't... no words are ever going to justify just how much I love this. It's just so good that any chance... Okay, I'll end on this. This is how good this book is. Anytime I am with people and, I don't know, if the conversation lags a little for me, if I'm in a group of people and a conversation lags for me, I want to pull out this book and in front of them just dive right in, have my nose in the book while everyone else is talking. It's making me antisocial, but anyway, that's just how good it is. So anyway, I'll leave it on that high note. If you have any comments, thoughts, and or questions, please let me know in the comments section below. If you would like to follow along with me while I read these books, please do let me know as well. And yeah, letting you guys go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Have a wonderful reading week, guys. Whatever it is that you decide to pick up, whether you DNF that book or whether you get through it, I hope that you enjoy it. And I can't wait to see you guys next week when we will discuss me having completed Mistborn. And we will definitely be getting into discussing 3 Dark Crowns and Kiss of Deception as well. Alright, guys. Mwah. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.